What if the reason you're not manifesting what you desire is because you're still waiting to attract it instead of becoming it? The quantum field doesn't respond to your wants, your words, or your wishes. It responds to your frequency, and your frequency is shaped by who you are being, not what you're hoping for. This changes everything, because the moment you shift from chasing to embodying, from asking to aligning, reality begins to mirror you. This isn't magic, it's physics. You don't manifest by force, you manifest by frequency. And today, we'll decode the one truth that activates it all: the illusion of seeking versus becoming. Most people spend their lives seeking love, success, purpose, validation. But seeking, by nature, implies that what you desire is somewhere out there, separate from you. The illusion is subtle, but powerful. It convinces you that you must chase, strive, and earn what is already encoded within your being. And the more you seek, the more the universe mirrors the vibration of lack. When you operate from seeking, your energy says, "I don't have it yet." That frequency is lack, and the quantum field always reflects your frequency, not your words. You can visualize endlessly, say all the right affirmations, and read every book. But if your internal state says, "I need this," then that need becomes your signal, and life responds accordingly. Becoming, on the other hand, flips the model. It says, "I already am. I am the version of me who is worthy, who is aligned, who is whole." You're no longer trying to attract the thing, you're becoming the one who naturally lives in that timeline. And in the quantum field, becoming is the true command. It's not performance, it's resonance. The problem is, we're conditioned to believe that effort is the path, that we must earn love, grind for success, prove our worth. But the truth is, the quantum field does not reward effort, it reflects frequency. You could work endlessly from a state of unworthiness and only generate more struggle. Or you could shift your state of being and let the universe organize around your coherence. The real transformation happens the moment you stop reaching and start remembering. Remembering that what you seek is already a match for a version of you that exists now in potential. And potential becomes reality the moment you emotionally and energetically align with it. You don't need to beg the universe. You need to broadcast truth. Seeking comes from separation. Becoming comes from unity. One says, "It's out there." The other says, "It's already in me." This is why so many spiritual paths emphasize stillness, presence, and identity shifts. Because manifestation isn't about doing more. It's about undoing the illusion that you are not already enough. Think of the quantum field like a mirror. It doesn't give you what you're chasing. It gives you what you are. If you chase love from a place of loneliness, the mirror reflects loneliness. If you become love, embody love, the mirror has no choice but to reflect relationships and experiences aligned with that vibration. This is where most people get stuck. They confuse movement with progress. They read, watch, hustle, and seek, but their signal hasn't shifted. The mirror still sees the same frequency. The key is not to do more. The key is to be different. Subtly, powerfully, consistently. Becoming means making peace with the present while holding the vibration of the future. It's not about pretending, it's about inhabiting. You don't fake confidence, you anchor into it. You don't force worthiness, you remember it. And when you walk in that energy, the quantum field aligns without resistance. If you look closely, you'll realize that the act of seeking actually keeps what you want at a distance. It reinforces the story that you're not ready, not there, not enough. But the moment you drop that story and say, "I am that," your frequency shifts and the field listens. You are not a seeker, you are a transmitter, and your transmission determines your timeline. Every thought, every breath, every quiet belief is a signal. The universe doesn't need words, it needs coherence. When you become the one who already is, you collapse the distance between desire and manifestation. Becoming requires faith not in the outcome, but in your identity. It asks you to live from the vibration of truth before the evidence appears. It asks you to embody love before the relationship, embody abundance before the money, embody purpose before the title. Because in the quantum model, the field doesn't respond to proof. It responds to presence. So ask yourself now, what have you been seeking? And what would happen if you stopped chasing it and started being it? This is not just a mindset shift, it's a frequency shift. It's where the illusion ends and embodiment begins. Frequency is the real language of manifestation. Most people believe manifestation is about speaking desires into existence. But the universe doesn't speak in words, it speaks in energy. And energy has only one true language: frequency. If your words say one thing but your vibration says another, the field doesn't listen to what you said, it reflects what you are. You can say you want success. You can even feel excited for a moment. But if your core frequency is still rooted in doubt, fear, or unworthiness, the signal you emit will match those patterns. And the quantum field always mirrors that signal with precise, unwavering accuracy. It doesn't interpret your intention, it reflects your coherence. The misunderstanding lies in the belief that effort equals manifestation. That if you just try harder, think more positively, or hustle longer, reality will bend. But that's not how it works. You can't trick the quantum field. You must become a vibrational match for what you seek, not just in thought, but in state of being. Every emotion has a frequency. Joy, love, and gratitude vibrate high. Fear, anger, and guilt vibrate low. The more time you spend in a certain emotional state, the more that vibration becomes your broadcast. And the universe is not personal. It is mathematical. It echoes the dominant frequency you carry, not your hopes. This is why some people seem to attract effortlessly, while others struggle despite their best efforts. It's not about what you're doing, it's about who you're being. Your frequency is your identity in motion. And when your identity vibrates as already having, rather than still needing, the field begins to rearrange around you. Affirmations alone don't work unless they shift your frequency. You can say, "I am abundant," 1,000 times. But if your nervous system is still wired for survival, scarcity is the signal you emit. And the field responds accordingly, not to the mask, but to the truth underneath. Frequency alignment requires more than mental repetition, it demands emotional coherence. Your mind and heart must agree. When they do, your signal becomes sharp, clear, and powerful. And the field, which is intelligent and immediate, begins to collapse reality into that new form. You've felt it before, moments when everything just clicked, when opportunities appeared out of nowhere, when people showed up at the perfect time. That wasn't luck, that was alignment. Your frequency matched the experience, and so reality mirrored it without resistance. On the other hand, you've also felt what happens when you push from misalignment. Things delay, break down, fall apart. That's not punishment, it's feedback. It's the universe showing you the signal you're emitting, so you can adjust not your actions, but your vibration. Dr. Joe Dispenza teaches that thoughts are the electrical charge, and emotions are the magnetic charge. Together, they form the electromagnetic field that the universe receives as instruction. It's not just about thinking differently, it's about feeling in alignment with the thought. When your frequency is rooted in the present moment, gratitude, and internal safety, you become magnetic. You don't chase outcomes, you draw them in. You stop searching for evidence outside yourself, and instead trust that the field is responding already because it always is. The trap of manifestation is thinking it's about doing more, when in truth, it's about being more aligned, more embodied, more coherent. The less you try to control the process, and the more you tune into the right frequency, the faster life reflects that back. Most people are broadcasting two signals: what they say they want, and what they actually feel. The field is never confused. It simply reflects the dominant one. So the real work isn't in getting, it's in getting clear. Clear in emotion, in identity, in vibration. This is why healing is manifestation work. Because as you release stored trauma, fear, and conditioning, your baseline frequency rises. You don't just think higher, you live higher. and the field begins responding to the new version of you that no longer carries the past. So ask yourself now, not what do I want, but what am I vibrating? Because that's the real question. That's the real signal, and that not your words is what the universe is listening to. The mirror effect. Life reflects your state. Most people are trying to fix the mirror without realizing the image is coming from them. Reality, like a mirror, doesn't project its own picture. It reflects yours, your inner state, your beliefs, your emotions, your energy, is what forms the image. When something outside feels off, it's not because the world is against you. It's feedback, a signal from the quantum field that says, look inward first. You can't force the mirror to smile. You must smile first. The external won't shift because you want it to. It shifts because your frequency has changed. If you're carrying fear, the world reflects things to fear. If you're radiating certainty, life mirrors back clarity. It doesn't mean you control everything that happens, but it means your internal broadcast is always shaping the possibilities that show up. This is why problems repeat. Not because you're cursed, but because the mirror is waiting for you to become someone new. Your patterns are not punishments. They're proof that your signal has stayed the same. And if you don't shift what you're being, the world won't shift what it's showing. The mirror doesn't lie. It doesn't judge. It simply reflects what is. Every person, every situation, every delay is part of the mirror. That tough relationship, a reflection of your boundaries. That stuck opportunity, a reflection of your beliefs about what you deserve. That emotional trigger, a reflection of the pain still stored within you. Life is not happening to you. It's responding through you, showing you what needs to be seen, healed, and shifted. The quantum field isn't personal, but it is precise. It's not rewarding the good or punishing the bad. It's matching energy. When your thoughts, feelings, and actions are out of sync, the mirror reflects confusion. When they're aligned, the mirror becomes clear. It's not magic. It's coherence. You've experienced it before. Moments when everything just clicked. You felt at peace. And suddenly, the right person appeared. The opportunity came. The door opened. That wasn't coincidence. That was resonance. Your frequency became the version of you who already had what you were asking for. The mirror didn't delay you, simply matched. But there are also days when nothing moves, when every step feels heavy. That's not failure. That's a sign to check your reflection, not the outer, the inner. Are you holding resistance? Are you broadcasting from doubt? The mirror is showing you something, not to shame you, to show you. You don't heal the mirror by smashing it. You heal it by adjusting the source. If your reality feels chaotic, the work isn't fixing life, it's calming your nervous system. If your world feels cold, the answer isn't begging for warmth, it's becoming the source of light again. The reflection only changes when the source does. So many people chase outer change thinking that's the answer. But lasting change never starts out there. You can manifest the job, the person, the breakthrough, but if your frequency hasn't evolved, the pattern will repeat. Why? Because the mirror obeys the signal, not the wish. You don't get what you want. You get what you are. This is the heart of the mirror effect. The outside is a reflection, not a cause. Most people try to manage symptoms instead of shifting their state. But your state is the only thing you truly control. And when you become the person who already holds peace, alignment, and power, the world reflects it back without resistance. Emotional patterns are also part of the mirror. If you keep attracting chaos, what is your nervous system wired to expect? If you keep meeting rejection, what belief are you broadcasting about your worth? These are not random experiences. They are mirror images of your vibration. And the moment you see them clearly, you gain the power to change them. The mirror doesn't require perfection. It simply responds to presence. You don't have to fake joy. You don't have to pretend gratitude. But when you return to your center, when you pause, breathe, and embody even a fraction of your truth, the field reflects it. Even the smallest shift in your state begins a ripple effect across reality. This is why silence is powerful. In the stillness, You begin to hear the signal you've been sending. Not the affirmations, the real one. The energy underneath the words. And when you become conscious of it, you can choose differently. That's the key. Not forcing, but aligning. Not reacting, but responding with clarity. Let go of trying to fix life like it's broken. Instead, tune your frequency like it's music. You're not being punished by the mirror, you're being invited into mastery. Every delay, every trigger, every cycle is an encoded message. It's saying, this is what you're vibrating. Shift it, and everything changes. Your entire life is a mirror, a living, breathing reflection of who you've been being. And the best part? You can change the reflection at any moment. Not by begging, not by chasing, but by becoming. When you align your energy, the mirror becomes a window, one that opens into a reality you didn't even know was waiting for you. Detachment is not indifference, it's power. Most people misunderstand detachment. They think it means not caring, shutting off, or giving up. But real detachment is not cold, it's clear. It's the calm that comes when your worth is no longer tied to outcomes. It's the strength of knowing that what's meant for you won't need to be chased. That energy is not weakness, it's mastery. When you're truly detached, you don't stop wanting. You stop needing. You don't beg the universe. You align with it. Because the more you need something, the more you're vibrating lack. And the quantum field does not respond to need, it responds to being. That's why desire without desperation is powerful. It creates space for receiving. The truth is, the tighter you grip, the more resistance you create. Think of water. Hold it gently, and it stays. Clench your fist, and it slips through. Detachment is the open palm. It's the quiet trust that says, I don't have to force this, I just have to become the version of me that naturally attracts it. This doesn't mean you become passive. It means you stop controlling every step. You stop micromanaging the how and surrender into the flow. Detachment is not the absence of effort. It's the presence of faith. The trust that the energy you are will return in form if it's truly aligned. When you detach, your nervous system calms. Your mind stops racing. You no longer obsess over timelines, outcomes, or validation. You return to center, to presence. That presence emits the clearest signal. And the clearer the signal, the faster the field responds. Detachment tunes your frequency to receiving, not resisting. Attachment whispers, what if it doesn't work? Detachment says, even if it doesn't, I'm still whole. This is where power lives, not in outcomes, but in identity. When you become someone who is peaceful before the manifestation, you're already a match. The field has no choice but to reflect it. So many people stay stuck because they don't know the difference between desire and dependency. Desire is magnetic. Dependency is repellent. When you think you need something to feel okay, you place your power outside of you. But when you detach, you take your power back. Detachment removes static from your signal. When you stop obsessing, your energy becomes clear, coherent, clean. You become a strong broadcast, not a scattered one. The field doesn't respond to noise, it responds to clarity. And clarity is born in letting go of what you thought you had to control. You've probably noticed that the things you attract effortlessly come when you're not chasing, when you're not worried, when you're not gripping. That's detachment in action. It's when your internal state says, I'm already whole whether this comes or not. And paradoxically, that's when it comes. You don't have to stop wanting the dream, but you must stop needing it to feel like enough. Detachment allows you to want deeply while standing rooted in peace. It's not the absence of ambition. It's the maturity of knowing that your identity isn't waiting on the outcome. You are already aligned with it. This is not emotional numbness. It's emotional clarity. It's knowing the difference between reacting and responding, between craving and creating. When you're attached, emotions drive you. When you're detached, you direct them. You still feel, but the feelings don't rule your frequency anymore. And that shift from reaction to embodiment changes everything. It allows you to stay grounded when things are uncertain, It allows you to remain open when doors close. Because in detachment, you see every delay not as rejection, but redirection, a higher refinement of the path that's meant for you. True detachment is rooted in trust. Not blind faith, but inner knowing. The kind that comes when you've witnessed alignment too many times to question it anymore. The kind that knows, when it's right, it flows. And when it doesn't, something better is calibrating. You don't fight the timing, you honor it. There is power in letting go. Not letting go of your vision, but letting go of your grip on how it must unfold. Detachment opens the doorway for higher solutions, for intuitive action, for guidance to arrive without force. You don't push the current, you become the one it flows through. When you're detached, you make decisions from alignment, not fear. You stop overthinking. You start trusting your energetic compass. Your actions aren't rushed. They're intentional. Each step comes from a place of clarity, not chaos. And that's what magnetizes the future you're calling in. This is why detachment feels so rare. Because it requires self-trust in a world that teaches us to cling. It asks you to believe in the unseen. To believe that your frequency is doing the work, even when results haven't shown up yet. But when you practice it, life mirrors back peace, not panic. Detach from the outcome, but remain connected to the version of you who already has it. Walk with that posture, speak with that frequency, show up with that certainty. And soon the field responds not to your hopes, but to your wholeness. That is where manifestation accelerates. You are not here to cling. You're here to become. You're not here to chase. You're here to resonate. Detachment is the sacred space where miracles are invited in, not forced. It's the art of vibrating as if, and then allowing the field to reflect it without demand. And finally, detachment doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you care so deeply that you trust. Trust that what's for you will arrive on time. Trust that your signal is enough. Trust that letting go is not the end, it's the beginning of flow. And that's not indifference. That's power. The shift happens when you embody it first. Change doesn't come when the world shifts. It comes when you do. We've been taught to wait to hope for the job to land, the relationship to fix, the path to reveal itself. But quantum reality doesn't operate on external signals. It mirrors internal embodiment. You don't wait for the shift, you become it. When you embody something, you carry it in your nervous system. You walk with it, speak from it, breathe as if it's already true. That alignment sends a signal louder than any affirmation. You can't fake embodiment. The field doesn't listen to what you say. It responds to what you radiate, consistently. You can say all the right words. You can visualize endlessly. But if the energy behind your actions contradicts the future you're asking for, the mirror reflects confusion. Embodiment is coherence. It's when your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors broadcast one unified truth. I already am. Most people delay their shift. They say, I'll feel confident when I succeed. I'll feel worthy when I'm loved. But that's the trap. That's the illusion of time-based identity. The quantum truth is reversed. You succeed when you already feel successful. You're loved when you already feel lovable. Embodying it first is not pretending. It's remembering. The future version of you already exists in the field. But until you align with that frequency, you won't perceive it. You won't meet the right people, notice the opportunities, or follow the impulses that lead to it, because you're not tuned in. This is why people who seem lucky are often just aligned. They carry a frequency that calls life to them. They don't chase, they resonate. Embodiment is the practice of tuning your inner state until it becomes magnetic, until the field has no choice but to collapse reality around your signal. It's not about doing more. It's about being more of who you already are, without the old story, without the delay, without the identity that says, not yet. The moment you become the version of you who has already shifted, you step into a timeline that reflects it. Quantum change is not linear. It's not a gradual climb. It's an energetic jump. One moment you're one version, the next something shifts. Not because the world changed, but because you did. You stopped waiting. You started walking. You made the inner decision that shifted the external flow. Ask yourself this: who would I be if the thing I desire already happened? How would I walk? How would I feel about myself? What would I no longer tolerate? These are not hypotheticals. These are instructions. They are vibrational commands that tell the field, I'm ready, not someday now. You don't have to know how it arrives. Embodiment is not about control. It's about clarity. When your energy becomes clear, the how takes care of itself. The universe fills in the steps, but it won't move until you do not physically, but energetically. Shift your state, and the world reshapes. There's a version of you that already lives the life you're calling in. Embodying it means dropping everything that contradicts that frequency. Doubt, fear, resentment, delay, these are not parts of you. They're programs, scripts. You can release them the moment you choose to shift. It may feel unfamiliar at first, because most of your life, you've identified with the waiting version, the one who needs proof before belief. But now, you get to reverse it. You lead with belief, with presence, with the internal resonance of, it's already done, and the field listens. Think about the last time something unexpectedly worked out. That moment of alignment wasn't an accident. You matched the reality even for a second. That's the power of embodiment. You don't wait for momentum. You become the cause of it, and the universe responds in kind. Every reality exists simultaneously in the quantum field, but you can only access the one you're aligned with. Embodiment is how you shift timelines. It's not effort that moves you, it's frequency. You don't have to climb the mountain. You become the one who already stands at the top. This is why embodiment is the most radical act of power. It's not loud, it's not flashy, but it's undeniable. You don't need to convince anyone. You don't need external validation. When your frequency is clear, your reality reorganizes around it. Quietly, quickly, precisely. Start small. Shift your posture. Speak as the version of you who trusts. Dress, eat, move from alignment. This is not about pretending, it's about reprogramming. Every signal you send is a vote for a future. When the votes align, the shift happens. Not later now. You don't need more information. You don't need another sign. The shift will not arrive until you become it. This is the activation moment, the decision point. You either live in the echo of your old self, or you begin transmitting a new one. And that choice is entirely yours. So pause, breathe, ask again, who am I being right now? Because that answer is not just emotional, it's electrical, it's magnetic, it's the frequency that the field is organizing around. Become the signal of your desired future, and reality must follow. It's physics. It's law. You've already seen glimpses of this. When you embodied calm, peace arrived. When you embodied confidence, opportunities opened. It's not random. It's the reflection. Embodiment doesn't hope. It knows. And that knowing, that internal coherence, is the key that unlocks everything. You are the shift. You are the match. You are the cause. The quantum field isn't waiting for your wish. It's waiting for your embodiment. So stop hoping. Start becoming. Let the shift begin within, and watch how fast the world catches up. You are already creating, but are you aware? You are already a creator. Every moment, with every thought, every emotion, every expectation, you're broadcasting a signal. And that signal is not neutral. It's a command. A vibrational instruction that tells the quantum field, this is who I am. The question isn't whether you're manifesting. It's whether you're aware of what you're manifesting. Most people don't realize they're shaping reality unconsciously. They think their life is just happening to them, unaware that their internal state is the script. If your dominant frequency is fear, lack, self-doubt, the field reflects those things not because you asked for them, but because you've been being them. That's the trap. Creation doesn't wait for permission. We've been conditioned to believe that action creates results. But in the quantum model, it's frequency first. Your actions matter, but only when aligned with the signal you're sending. Misaligned effort is exhausting. It's like screaming one command with your mouth while your energy says the opposite. And the field, it listens to the energy, not the noise. Your vibration is more than a feeling. It's a measurable frequency. Science confirms this. The electromagnetic field of your heart is thousands of times stronger than your brain. So if you're thinking one thing but emotionally living another, the heart wins. The signal goes out and the field responds. That's why alignment is everything. Every emotion you carry is creative. Joy builds, fear delays, gratitude opens, shame contracts. These aren't just states of mind, they're codes. And you're sending those codes into the quantum canvas every second. You can't turn it off. Even your silence speaks. Even your stillness transmits. The field is always listening. The biggest illusion is that manifestation begins when you start trying. The truth? You've been creating long before you were conscious of it. The beliefs you absorbed as a child, the trauma you never questioned, the thoughts you repeated without awareness, all of it became the scaffolding of your current reality. Not as punishment, as pattern. Becoming aware is the moment everything shifts. Not because you're suddenly powerful, but because you realize you always were. You start seeing the feedback loop, your inner state mirrored in your outer life. And instead of reacting to reality, you begin shaping it from the inside out. This is not philosophy. This is precision. The quantum field doesn't reward good behavior. It reflects coherent signals. If you feel unworthy but try to act successful, the field reflects the unworthiness. If you say affirmations but vibrate doubt, the mirror returns the doubt. This is not personal, it's law. The field doesn't respond to words, it responds to being. Awareness means responsibility, and responsibility means power. You stop blaming the past, you stop outsourcing your peace. You realize, if I created this unconsciously, I can create differently consciously. And that's when the real shift begins. Not when you force life, but when you align with life. Start by noticing, what's your dominant frequency throughout the day? Not what you say, what you feel. Are you carrying scarcity while hoping for abundance? Are you seeking love while feeling undeserving? That's the mismatch. That's why it hasn't shown up yet. The field is reflecting the true signal, not the wish. The moment you become conscious of what you're transmitting, you reclaim your authorship. You stop being a character in someone else's story. You step into the role of energetic architect, constructing your reality from presence, from coherence, from clarity. It's not ego, it's embodiment. Here's what most miss. Your future is not waiting to be found. It's waiting to be matched. The version of you that already lives the life you desire, it exists now. Not someday now, but you won't see it. You won't step into it until you become the vibrational match. That's the key. That's the shift. You are already broadcasting. So the real question is, what are you broadcasting as? Are you the version who still waits, doubts, reacts? Or are you the version who chooses, claims, and aligns? Because whichever one you are being, the field will reflect that reality back to you. This isn't about perfection, it's about presence. Coherence doesn't mean having it all figured out. It means your energy is no longer divided. You're not pretending to believe, you actually believe. You're not hoping, you're knowing, and the field knows the difference. Think of your vibration like a signal tower. The clearer the frequency, the faster the alignment. The more static, the more distortion. Your job isn't to force outcomes. Your job is to clear the static, to feel what's true, to align thought, feeling, and behavior into one unified message. I already am. Most people chase results without shifting identity. They visualize success but carry the same self-concept that blocked it. This is why nothing changes. You're not getting what you want, you're getting what you are. That's why awareness is so powerful. It's the doorway to choosing differently. Embody the version of you who already lives the life. Walk like them, speak like them, think and feel from that timeline. Not to impress the universe, but because that's what sends the clear signal. That's what shifts timelines. That's what collapses the potential into reality. Everything in your current reality is a match to a frequency you've been sending. If you want a new life, send a new signal. Become a new vibration, not by force, not by pretending, but by choosing moment by moment to return to the frequency of who you truly are. The power isn't in doing more. It's in being more deliberately. Being the one who already knows, already feels, already creates. That version of you isn't far away. It's right here, beneath the noise, beneath the old story, waiting to be remembered. You're already creating. The shift happens the moment you become aware of what you're creating and decide to align it with truth, with coherence, with the reality your soul already knows is possible. That's the moment the field listens, and everything begins to rearrange. Stop waiting. Start radiating. Most people live in waiting. Waiting for the right time. Waiting for a sign. Waiting for proof that they're ready. But waiting is a frequency, and its signals lack. When you wait, you tell the field you are not it yet. And the field, with perfect precision, reflects that truth back. Manifestation doesn't respond to your hope. It responds to your radiance. You were never meant to be passive in the creation of your life. You are not here to wait for permission. You are here to remember your power and emit it. The quantum field doesn't move when you beg, it moves when you broadcast. That broadcast is your vibration. Not what you say, not what you want, what you are. The moment you start radiating the energy of what you seek, you collapse timelines. You're no longer the one hoping. You're the one becoming. That shift from needing to knowing is everything. Because energy doesn't lie. You can't fake frequency. You either are the signal, or you're still preparing to be. And preparation is another disguise for delay. Most people wait in disguise, telling themselves they're getting ready, when really they're scared to be seen, scared to be powerful. But the field only mirrors clarity. If you are unsure, the reflection will be uncertain. But if you radiate certainty, the field aligns instantly. This is not about arrogance. It's about alignment. When you embody your next level, you're not pretending you're activating. That version of you already exists in the field, but she won't meet you halfway. You must rise to match her frequency. You must radiate her truth before you see her results. Waiting says, I don't have it yet. Radiating says, I am it now. Feel the difference. One repels, the other magnetizes. This is the hidden truth behind quantum manifestation. You attract what you emit. You receive what you radiate. And your current life is a perfect mirror of what you've been broadcasting. Energy is not personal, it's precise. The universe doesn't reward the worthy, it reflects the coherent. If your desires and self-perception are misaligned, you stay stuck. You can visualize success all day, but if you feel unworthy, the signal is distortion, and the field always answers the true frequency, not the forced affirmation. Radiating means choosing to become the outcome now, before the evidence, before the applause, before the world agrees. That's power. That's magnetism. You walk as if, not because you're faking it, but because you're matching it. You speak from the vibration of arrival, not absence. It's easy to fall into the illusion of time, to think you're waiting for the right moment. But the right moment is created, not found. The shift doesn't happen later. It happens the moment you drop into now and embody the version of you who no longer waits. She shines. She radiates. She owns it. Stillness isn't passivity, it's power. When you sit in presence and emit clarity, life bends. Opportunities shift. People respond differently, not because you forced the change, but because you became the frequency of the change. The world outside is just the ripple. You are the drop. Let's ask the deeper question. What energy are you broadcasting right now? Not what are you thinking, what are you feeling? That emotional tone is your transmission. If it's rooted in fear, the mirror reflects fear. If it's grounded in trust, the mirror softens. Your job is not to fix the world, it's to tune your signal. You've been taught to chase, but chasing implies distance. And in the quantum realm, distance is illusion. You don't need to run toward your desires, you need to stop hiding from them. Radiate the version of you who already holds the vision, not as fantasy but as frequency. Every time you show up as your true self, without delay or doubt, the field responds. Your coherence becomes a magnet, not for luck but for alignment. This is the difference between hoping and commanding. Not from ego, from embodiment. The most magnetic force in the universe is authenticity. It's not about forcing success. It's about removing everything that blocks your light. When you let go of the mask, the fear, the hesitation, what remains is pure signal, and that signal is enough. In fact, it's always been enough. You've just been waiting for permission to release it. Radiance doesn't mean loud. It doesn't mean dramatic. It means clear. You don't need to convince the world. You just need to become undeniable to yourself. The field picks up that inner coherence, that silent certainty, and life organizes itself around it. Look at your life right now. It's not random. It's a vibrational echo. What have you been transmitting consistently? What version of you have you been rehearsing? If it's scarcity, doubt, hesitation, you know the result. But if it's presence, power, clarity, then the shift is already underway. There's nothing outside of you that you must wait for. No timing, no validation, no perfect plan, just a decision to stop waiting and start radiating. You are not becoming the version of you who is ready. You already are them. The question is, will you broadcast that truth? You don't need more time. You need more alignment. Time is a tool, not a requirement. You shift the moment you choose. And choice is energetic. It's not loud. It's felt. It's real. The frequency of your future self is not waiting for you to change. It's waiting for you to match. So take a breath. Get quiet. Feel into the self who no longer begs for her desires, she becomes them. She doesn't ask the field to approve. She tells the field with her being, "This is who I am." And the field, it listens. Every time. You are not here to wait. You are here to radiate. And the moment you do, life can't help but respond. Not because it's magic, because it's law. Energy always returns to its source. So become the source, and watch reality align with your signal. The truth is simple, yet radical. You were never meant to chase your reality, you were meant to tune into it. The version of you who already has what you desire, already exists. But to meet that version, you must release the identity that's attached to lack, fear, and doubt. The quantum shift is real, but it isn't triggered by effort. It's activated by alignment. When your thoughts, emotions, and energy speak the same truth, the field responds. Instantly, precisely, unemotionally. So here's your power. Stop waiting to feel safe. Stop waiting to feel ready. Stop waiting for the world to change before you do. You are the signal. You are the shift. If this resonated, comment below. I am the frequency that creates. And share this with someone who's ready to stop chasing and start becoming. Because your next reality is already waiting for your vibration.